So what's exciting about these Communities Create projects is that we're wanting to really bring people together in this time where we're all apart.
Be part of a time capsule of life during the pandemic through creative outputs.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Amelia King, and I'm the co-director of engagement at the Creative Innovation Studio, and I also oversee the Transmedia Zone, Ryerson's Media Innovation Incubator. So it is my pleasure to welcome you to Communities Create. So hey to everyone on the live session, as well as those live streaming on Communities Create or on CVC Arts. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit of background, and I promise I'm not going to talk at you for much longer. But basically, the goal of Communities Create is to support independent members of the creative community and to use creativity to unite Canadians and help people express how they're feeling. Particularly during this roller coaster of a ride of an experience that we're all going through, especially sometimes because it's hard to find the words, right? Sometimes the words aren't enough. So what we're doing is we're providing micro grants to independent artists to lead these interactive sessions through an amazing network of collaborators, including UBC this week, UBC Studios Okanagan. All right, so this week it's Performance Week, and today's workshop is Through the Body, led by the unstoppable Tracy Ross. I promise you will love her. We absolutely do. And I'm so excited to be moderating this workshop since so much of what we do at the TMZ and with my own company, Pink Moon Studio, actually centers on this idea of performance. Okay, so before we get started, here are some ground rules to make sure that everyone has the best experience possible. Okay, so listen up. Number one, this is the most important one, okay? Try the exercises yourself. Do it, don't be shy, no one's judging. It's a safe space. I promise you, it'll be so much more fun if you are participating, okay? And to everybody watching on the live stream, we do hope you'll participate too, along with everybody else in the interactive session. So just make sure you introduce yourself and you have fun, and tweet at us at the Communities Create hashtag, and we're gonna try to get to as many of your thoughts and comments as possible. And so for those in this session, please, please, please pin the Communities Create video. It's gonna make your life so much easier, okay? And use the chat to comment and ask questions. Just so you know, your microphone by default is gonna be muted, and the moderators will unmute you if you have a question to ask. And just so you know, any audio is recorded and archived. Your video will also be controlled by you and viewable by other participants. We're gonna be doing a Brady Bunch style gallery view. So if your video is on, just know it's going to be recorded too. All right, so now I'd like to introduce Diana Breacher, and she heads up our mental health task force. So Diana, one of the reasons we're doing this is to give people a creative outlet for their emotions. Can you tell us a little bit about your role with Communities Create?
Thank you. Yes, I'd be happy to. So the focus of each of our sessions is how are you feeling? And so when you ask the question, you have to be prepared to provide some support around answering it. So oftentimes in so many of our sessions, people's feelings get triggered. People feel what they're going to feel. They're being provoked to feel lots of different things. And so what we're doing is we're providing a bit of kind of support. So I'm here with two PhD psychology students, Rachel and Amy, and we're going to be monitoring the chat. And if something comes up and you want to connect with one of us, we're more than happy to do that while the session is live. And when we're done and when the recording is over, we're going to offer an opportunity to just do a bit of a debrief. And in addition, on the Communities Create website, we've put together a list of resources that you can access in terms of any kind of mental health supports that might be helpful. And we're not assuming that there's going to be an issue, but if there is, we're here to support you. Thanks very much.
All right, perfect. Thank you for that. So now I would like to introduce Gideon Dante from UBC Studios Okanagan. Gideon, over to you. Why don't you let us know why you're so excited and why you decided to join us?
Thank you, Amelia. Yeah, as Amelia said, I'm Gideon Dante, and I'm the executive producer of UBC Studios. UBC Studios is an in-house media production center for the Okanagan campus of the University of British Columbia, and we're located in Kelowna, BC. So as a team of creative people who work with the campus community, we understand the importance of the creative expression and the role it plays in the human experience. So when communities create, the initiative asked us to partner with them, we jumped at this opportunity to bring you this workshop. So we're really happy to be here and excited about it. And so I'd like to introduce Tracy Ross. Tracy Ross has worked in and around the theater and performance professions for many years. Amongst other things, she has a master's degree in interdisciplinary studies and founded a children's theater company and nonprofit. Her workshop is called Through the Body. And with that, I'll hand it over to Tracy.
I have to unmute. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be here today with all of you. I just want to start with a couple of acknowledgements. A huge thank you to UBCO Studios that is providing this opportunity, and to Communities Create. It's wonderful. There is this beautiful team of people that is working behind the scenes for a couple of months to bring this together. So I'm so grateful to be here with you today. And I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the land that I'm on. Huge gratitude for the unceded ancestral territory of the Silks people that I get to work and play here on these lands. So thank you. As Gideon briefly mentioned, I have a master's degree in interdisciplinary studies with a focus in performance and a secondary focus of education. And so right now I'm a practicing instructor at UBC, and I like to center my work around community, which fits excellent with this, connection, and having a sense of belonging. And so we're going to go on a bit of a journey today. My practice is through the body. I started as a dancer, and for me, a lot of what we do in our expression and our interaction with the world is through the body. So that's what we're going to do. And I'm just going to make sure that I can see what you guys are doing. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to start off with is just arriving, allowing ourselves some space for exploration and discovery. And so we're going to go into some breath. And let's just talk about what we want to achieve today. Since I like to just get right into the doing, you can see where I'm thinking here. So today we want to be present in our bodies. We want to acknowledge and express an answer to the question, how are you feeling right now? Just right now, in this moment in time, with all of the things that are going on in this world, and possibly for you, we're going to take some chances at possibly doing something that you haven't done before, and observing what comes up in that new exploration. And we're going to create just individual building blocks that hopefully you can pull together in your own individual expression of how are you feeling right now. So acting in theater there's two really, really important things. There's lots of important things, but the really primary ones are doing. Acting is doing. So we're going to do some things today through some exercises. And listening. And listening is so key to what we do, because we're in constant response to and relationship to something, whether it be another person, our own selves, an object, space, or environment that we're in. And I'm going to ask you today to really focus that listening in on yourself. So find yourself comfortable. And I wore today, you guys, my breathe shirt, because that's where we're going to start. So just taking some time, finding whatever feels grounded for you. You can place your feet flat on the ground, body upright, and you just want to reach the crown of your head to the sky so that you're opening up space for things to happen. So we're going to play with shape later, but right now, nice and tall, finding something comfortable for your hands. And we're going to breathe. And it might feel like a really long time if you're not accustomed to creating space to pay attention to just your breath. And all we're trying to do is allow ourselves to come into the present moment. So we're tuning in. Our breath tells story all the time. And if we pay attention to it, we can understand, because it reflects often our current emotional state or mood or activity. So right now, it's just about paying attention. There's no judgment, there's no right or wrong. And I'm going to time us, which I'm going to do a couple of times during this session. So we're literally just going to breathe. There's no controlling. Don't worry about controlling it. We're going to sit in silence as we do this exercise. Or if Kevin has music, he can play it. It's up to you. But we're just going to do this for 1 minute. And as we do it, just notice the sensation of the breath within the body. So again, it's just about paying attention. How does the breath move the body? What sensations come up? Okay. So we're comfortable. And you're just breathing in whatever way, arriving in this space, in this time, in this moment, right now, with a sense of curiosity and observation. Good. And let's do one all together, just so that we can be in a space with bodies. So let's exhale all the air out of your body. And inhale. And exhale. And just coming into space. And so breath is at the foundation. I know it sounds funny because we take it for granted all the time, but it's at the foundation of what we do. And absolutely, as performers, it fuels us and creates information for us. And we can alter the breath in helping to tell a story, or even just understanding where we are and how breath is affecting what we do. I'm sorry, you guys, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not in that little light there. So as we go through and start doing some of these activities and exercises, allow yourself every once in a while to tune into your breath. So we're gonna be moving our bodies. And in the side, if you guys are familiar with Zoom, we're gonna be using the little chat area, which is beside you there. So sometimes I'll ask you if you want to come on camera or share something after we've done something. So our basic, there we go, is we're going to do, and then we're going to share what you've come up with or generate what came up within the experience. And that conversation is really interesting. That's where the community comes from. So right now I'm finding I'm spending way more time in this 2D space on screen, and I need to come back into my body and acknowledge that I'm this 3D being moving through space, and not just this flat image. And so I really encourage you, as we begin to do these exercises, to take up space in the world, to move into as much as you can within your own room. So let's just do just a tiny little stretch just to get in. We're going to get into our body. So our breath grounded us a little bit. And so we're just going to lean our head over to one side and just open it up. And we're not going to do too much here, you guys, but we are going to move our bodies. And we want to remember that we are these 3D human beings that move together in space. Just opening up, and just a nice cross the arms and breathe open into space. Oh, and back across the other way and into space. Oh, good. Okay. So now we're going to get into really exploring the question, how are you feeling right now? And doing that in a physical way. So I have a little reading that I want to share with you as we move into this. And this is from Patsy Rodenberg, who writes this beautiful book called The Right to Speak. And she says, the right to breathe, the right to be physically unashamed, to fully vocalize, to need, choose, and make contact with a word, to release a word into space, the right to speak. And in taking your rights, you can then feel secure and generous enough to offer others their rights and listen attentively and generously to others. And to me, that just so fits what we're doing today in terms of allowing and giving ourselves the permission to take up space in the world and to speak. And then also, then we are able to generously listen to others. So today we're going to really focus in on ourselves. So in the chat, we're going to start, you guys. Here's the question. Using an emotional or mood word, respond to the question, how are you feeling right now? So you can just put some things in. I've got some examples up on the screen there. Restless, trapped, joyful, romantic, mysterious, overwhelmed, innocent, light, churning. Yes, I feel the churning as well then. Impatient, tense. Yeah. Stuck, hopeful, still. Those are beautiful words, you guys. Calm. Present. Fluttery. Sometimes I like to make words up, you guys, because there isn't an actual word, or it can even be within a sound like, it's like you can't express. So it depends. So I'm going to ask you guys, we're going to go into gallery view. And what we're going to do is we're going to vocalize and physicalize some of these words that you guys have come up with. So what that looks like, can we if you want to show an example, you guys, just let me know in the chat, and then someone can take you off mute for when we do this. So if we go into gallery view, and what we'll do, I'll show you what it looks like. You're going to, I'm going to use Ben's word. I'm using your word, Ben, churning. So you're going to say the word, you'll say the word, and you'll physicalize. Where is that light? I can't figure it out. I keep going the wrong way. Okay, look at this, you guys. It's like a little dance I'm doing. So you're going to say the word, and you're going to vocalize what you think that word would sound like and physicalize it. So for me, I think of churning, right? And so if you want to say one of your words, and then everybody who's watching, you can repeat after we've done it. So you can move and you can do it all together, churning, and say it. Oh, what does that feel like? Oh, it's in my body. Yeah. Good. Who else would like to use a word? Do a word. We can take you off mute. Let's see. I can't see the names. Lee, is that Lee? Do you want to do a word if we take you off mute? I can't. And we could take Ben off probably. I know Ben has a good word. Oh, if I slide down. I'll do it. Amelia.
Impatient.
Oh, impatient. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like impatient. For me too. Good. Who else? Ben, you got one?
Yeah, how about hopeful?
Oh, hopeful. Oh, what does that look like and feel like? Vocalize.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels so light. I love it. Good. Anybody else got one that they want to vocalize and share?
Yeah, right now I'm feeling very destabilized.
Destabilized. Stabilized. Off. Nice. Oh, yeah. Great. And maybe one more. Who do we have? I can't read the names. They're just
Enchanted.
Go for it.
Enchanted.
Oh, enchanted. What does that look like? I don't know. It feels so magical. Enchanted. Yeah. Nice. So you guys, I think we go through right now, a lot of our time we're bracing for the world. And if we allow ourselves to breathe and engage and acknowledge how these words and emotions and feelings are living and being expressed through our bodies, it also allows people to listen and for us to give ourselves permission to have whatever that is. And as performers, that's what we're constantly doing. We're creating an attention or an awareness around how we create meaning with our voice, our bodies, the sounds, our relationships. And so right now, I just really want us to focus on our relationship with ourselves. And so we're constantly performing our emotions and the things that we're going through each day and living within our bodies. So thank you for doing that. That was our warm-up. So our first exercise, you guys, is you're gonna need a little bit of space. You can stay in your chair. You can move outside of your chair if you want to. We're gonna go through a series of open and closed body postures. And so literally, it just is exactly what it says. We're gonna go for 3 minutes and you're just gonna move into a closed posture. So it might be something that's in, and allow yourself to stay and linger in that moment. And when you're there, observe and notice what's coming up for you during that posture. So what's coming from the inside out, listening, and then you're gonna move, once you've stayed within that posture for a little bit, you're gonna move to something that is more open. And then you'll move into something that's closed. And move slowly, allow yourselves time to transition between each one. And really just apply a heavy dose of curiosity. So just noticing. There's no right or wrong. And we're gonna do this together. If you guys, we can go on to gallery view. I'm gonna just show you a quick little video so that you have an idea. In the video, she moves more quickly. I want you to allow yourselves to linger in those positions when we get there. And then we'll talk about them after. So if we wanna see the video. I have to remember which way I'm going. Good. So you can see there's just opening the body up and closing it. And it can be a single body part or it can be the whole body. So we're just going to do this exploration for about 3 minutes. And we'll just do it all together. So we can do it in gallery view if we want. And if, and you guys, absolutely, there's no right or wrong. Be inquisitive in and through the body as you make these positions and understanding. And remember that we're kind of going for this idea of how is it that we're feeling and how is it our body and our shape relates to how we are feeling. So I'm going to time us. We're going to go for 3 minutes. If you want to stay, if you get to a position and you're like, wow, this is like really curious for me, or I'm feeling really safe, or this makes me feel really vulnerable, really see what percolates and what comes to the surface within that. And we'll just play a little bit of music for that 3 minutes. Move within your own time, and I'll give you a little heads up when we're getting close to the time being done. And then we'll share what came up for you. Okay, here we go. Open and closed body postures. Good. And as we continue, try and find something that creates space in your body for the last posture. So if you found that you've gone to a lot of closed postures, try and allow yourself to end on something that's open and expansive. So we're moving and allowing ourselves to take up space in this world. Oh my gosh. Wonderful. So as you take that final posture, breathe and exhale and come back into some kind of comfort that's good for you. And I'm curious, So as you were moving through the open and closed postures, what was generated for you? Where did you feel more comfortable, or what were the what did you become curious about, or that you noticed within those positions? If you want to share, you guys just type in the chat and then we can make sure to unmute you. Ben.
Hey, the strongest thing that came up for me during that was on the really open ones, like chest open, cracked open, that kind of like pure ecstasy feeling. Was like I was thinking about all of the missed summer festivities that I was grieving. That the sense of like cracked open for me is like very festival, is very like to be under open sky, but with lots of people, either music or to a lesser degree theater, but you know, like live spaces, like street performers, fringe kind of club chaos. That's all missing, and that I like had a memory of that, of like live concerts basically is what I was remembering.
Right. What I love about what you said, Ben, is the aliveness of that, right? Because we're sort of in this Zoom world that we're in, we're kind of missing that visceral response to other bodies within the same space. Oh, I love that. I can feel actually the energy from everybody else in that moment. Yeah. Oh, if anyone else wants to talk but doesn't want their video on, let us know and we can unmute you and you can just talk and share about what came up for you. Then yeah, that way you don't have to necessarily be on camera, but you can still offer what was there. One of the things that's really interesting is finding what is uncomfortable for you. So these sort of, some people might call them power stances or open, this idea of being vulnerable, right? Because we're not as guarded when we're closed off. And so allowing ourselves, and we respond to other people's shapes. If somebody's really closed, or if we're feeling really closed, we might get the question, hey, are you okay? Right? So there's this listening, and also to our own selves, what makes us feel comfortable in those moments. So, and sometimes we can fake it till we make it. Sometimes we can open ourselves up and we can then begin to feel more of that other way. So Leslie says, I'm usually in a closed stance all the time, sitting and hunching, but even just standing felt empowering. Yeah, and you guys, I have to, even in my classes, if I'm dealing with female and males, a lot of females feel that they do more closed postures than open postures. That may or may not be true for you, but everything that we do with our bodies and our voices is telling stories, and we create meaning out of these things. So yeah, thank you for exploring within that. So, we're gonna do, let's see, I wanna see how we're doing for time. Yeah, we're doing okay. I still wanna get through, we'll go a little bit shorter with this next exercise. So we're gonna explore the idea of gesture. So again, we're making these different building blocks. And once we've done the open and closed body postures and gesture, I'm gonna work with a little bit of choreography or movement that we can learn together. But so gesture, if we think of gesture as movement with meaning, just really simple, movement with meaning, we're gonna generate as many examples of gestures, and we'll try and keep it family friendly, that we can. I'm gonna go like this, actually, that might help with the light. So let's do, and as you're doing it, explore, like actually move your body. So if you're thinking of, as I'm gesturing, as you think of it, so this, for example, is a gesture, right? It's a movement with meaning, it means something. Then just continue and just go through, and you want to think of a litany of gestures, all these different things, and then we'll share the kinds of things that we came up with. So what kind of movements do we make that have meaning attached to them? And then we'll build on that. So for the next, let's do it for 1 minute. just try and think of, and you can move your body as you do it, as many gestures as you can. We'll just all do it at the same time, generating and brainstorming through our bodies. Okay. I like this one. Good. Okay. Let's see what you've come up with. Some of your gestures. So any movement that has some kind of meaning, and we do it a lot, but like if we want to talk to somebody across the room, what we might say, hey, you, right? We're doing these different things. So we're communicating through all the time. Lee, what do you have? Rattle as many off as you want.
Yeah, we gotta, right this way.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
We gotta turn the heat on, please. I'm trying to see the show, please, this way. You're in my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple.
Yeah, no, those are great. I didn't actually come up with those. So and once you start to recognize like gestures, all of a sudden for the rest of the day, you'll start coming up with all of you're like, oh, that's a gesture. Oh, that's a gesture. And what's interesting is when we start to change the things like the tempo or the scale of something, the gesture changes. So using our example of the wave, if we do it at one tempo, it means one thing. If we do it at another tempo, it means something different. So we have different dynamics. So for example, in your what you gave us, Lee, if you're like, the nice hello, get out of my way versus, and again, it brings up this vocal sound within us, right? And we do it all the time. I gesture a lot while I'm driving. What are you doing? Right? You start communicating with people through this. Good. Does anyone have any other gestures that they'd like to show? You can just, if you type in, then I'll be able to see who you are and they can unmute. The team can unmute you. Or even if you just want to type in the meaning of one of your gestures. Tapping of the foot, because a gesture doesn't have to be with the hands. Sometimes we think of it as being with the hands, but we communicate with our whole body, like a tapping of the foot. Earlier Amelia said impatient, right? And I think, we could communicate that easily through our feet, tapping or the moving around, the restlessness of what it is we're doing, or the rest of our hands. So, okay, perfect. Now, we're gonna do a little bit of choreography. It's not going to be hard. So everybody who just went, I don't know if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm going to give you full permission to manipulate this in any way, shape, or form that you want. So we'll kind of do the basics and just go through the set of movements. And then we'll do it and you can play with it in whatever way you want. Okay, so I'm going to move my chair back because you're going to need to be able to see my whole body. I've done it sitting in my chair. You can easily do the same kinds of things standing if you want, but I thought I would be in my chair. Let me see. Okay. So, there. Can you see my hands? Yeah. So we're starting with our feet flat on the ground and our hands on our knees. And we're gonna combine the two things that we've just done, which is body shapes and gestures. And we're gonna turn them into just an expression. And you can accept your own meaning as we do different things. So the hands are here and they're outstretched like this, so with our palms, and we're slowly gonna close them into fists like this. And we're just gonna take that for 8, whatever that feels like. And you can create whatever tension at the end of that squeeze that you want. So to add to that, and I just, because I'm looking up right now just to be able to see you guys, is that you're gonna have your body over. So there's a curving in the spine with the head drop. So what it actually will look like is this. We're kind of like this, and our palms are outstretched, and they slowly come into fists. So we take whatever amount of time we want for there. Then we're gonna do 2 separate movements, which is unfolding our body up. So we've come here, we've closed our fists, and then we're gonna straighten our backs, and then we're gonna lift our heads. So let's just do that much from the beginning. The closing of the hands, straighten and lift. Okay, so it looks like this. Hands, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and body, straighten, head, lift. And when we get there, we're going to take a breath. So it just goes like this. And you can release the hands as you exhale on that breath, right? Have we got that? Just give me a little nod if we're good with that. Okay. Now, you guys can use whatever hand you want because I don't know if it's mirrored or whatever. So don't, again, there's no right or wrong. The next movement after the breath, as we release the breath, is we're going to bring one hand up to cover our mouth. And then we're going to bring our other hand up and we're going to push that hand down. So it goes hand and push. Nicely done. Then we're going to use the other hand, the one that did the pushing, and we're going to cover our eyes. And then we're going to take the other hand and we're going to push it down. Push. So what that looks like together is 1, push, 2, push. Now we were talking about varying tempos and how that changed the meaning. So you might do it like this. That would be just one way that you could possibly manipulate it. So again, the movement is yours. I'm just giving it to you, okay? So let's just start from the beginning and move at your pace, however you want. So with the hands, the sitting up, the breath, and then the covering the mouth and the eyes. Nice. Good. And so we've gone mouth, eyes. The next thing is, it's kind of like a finger up, like you want to catch someone's attention, right? So you've gone up, up, down, up, up, down. The finger goes up like, and on that, you can do a big inhale. So, and then you're going to look at the finger. So that's a separate movement. So it goes, finger goes up, I look at it, then my other hand is going to say like, no, no, no. And you're going to grab your own hand and pull it down onto your knee. Yeah, let's back it up to this. Okay, so we have hand, hand, push, hand, hand, push, inhale, see it, grab it, pull it down. And now it's going to try to escape from our knee here. So our knee is going to start to bounce. And again, whatever expression of bouncing you want, so it could be a slow sort of, you know, working against it, tension, or it can be that impatient bounce. You can do it whatever you want. And from there, you're going to unfold the hands and offer to me here. Good. So let's just go from this. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8 at your own pace. 1. Good. So I'll just talk it through what the whole thing is, okay? So we've been hunched over. We're sort of in this closed off place, and we close our fists nice and tight. Then we expand our body and lift our head. We take a nice breath in. We're bringing in the world. And then we release that. And then it goes mouth, push, eyes, push, see it, grab it, put down. It tries to escape, whatever that looks like for you. It can move all around if you want. You just let it go and whatever it feels good for you. And then the offer. From there, you're just going to go into what is like a run. So then all of a sudden it's just this. And you can change and alter the tempos there. You could go up if you wanted and down, whatever that looks like for you. And the last couple movements are here. From the run, you're just going to reach forward. So a nice extension. And then you're going to melt into a hug. Melt it into a hug. And really feel that. And then open up into a surrender. Yeah. Okay. So just to go over those last few movements that we did. From here, with the hand trying to escape, we opened it up. We made an offer. We went into a run. You can play with whatever tempo you want there. We reached it forward. We melted it into a hug. And we released it into a surrender. Oh, good. Can we do it all together, you guys? If you want to unvideo yourselves, we'll just go through it once as a group. Oh, we're doing good for time. We're gonna just talk about ways that we can manipulate it. So from the top to the end, at whatever pace you want, alter it, explore, stretch it out in one way, change a direction, do a different scope or scale, you know, you can, whatever it is you want to do with it, okay? Play, you have permission to play. Okay, and begin. Nicely done. Great job, you guys. Okay, so take it, put it in your toolbox, and you can think about it again after. I'm going to, oh, we're doing pretty good. We're gonna go into another tool, something that you can layer in. The aftermath is very relaxing. I love that. From Cindy. So we're gonna do a quick generic script. So I just need either one person willing to read it with me or two people who are willing to read it with each other. So if Kevin, if you could bring up the exercise 3. Oh, I think I have to go over here. Yeah. Okay. Can you guys read that? So there's sample 1, and it says A and B. So I just need one person to play A and one person to play B. Amelia says she'll read A. Do we have a B? Do we have a B? Anybody a B? Jeannie? Jeannie can read B. Great, thanks, Jeannie. So if we can have Amelia and Jeannie, and you guys, if you, just where it says gesture, you can put in whatever you want, right? Are you guys unmuted? Amelia, are you muted? Jeannie, are you there too?
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, great, okay. So Amelia, you go A, Jeannie, you go B.
Hi.
What is that?
Oh, sorry, go from script A, you guys, sample 1. Ignore sample 2, we probably won't have time for that one.
Okay, cool. Hi.
Hi. How are you? I see you.
Do you?
Yeah, I think so.
Really? How?
You know.
That's clear then.
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Good, yeah, thanks. Kevin, you can take that down. So as you guys, that's what's called a generic script. And we layer meaning into stuff all the time. So again, depending on how you say something, the subtext comes underneath that. And then we add things like body shape or tension or whatever it is, and it changes. So it becomes, we use some of those words that we started with, right? Which was, let's say, even tense, right? Hi. And someone's listening to that, hi. We then begin to respond to the whole message that's being given to us. Look at us in our time, you guys. We've just like done it all. So I'm going to show one quick video that starts to layer some of the things that we've done. And then I'm going to talk quickly about how you can take the different tools to create something to share with us or whoever on the Communities Create hashtag with the hashtag. And then I'll show you one other quick video that is similar, but just changes a couple of components. So just watch for some of those things that we were talking about. Gesture and open and closed body shape, and then how I've layered some music to it, but you could also layer the script in there. So Kev, if we could have that first video, the trains one, pretty please. Great. So we saw, again, just the combination of some simple gestures and some movement and some open and closed body postures, but we as human beings are meaning-making machines. So we create meaning and translate the world in front of us to mean something. And we can create expression. So we can choose what we want others to see through what we say, how we say it, and how we use our bodies to amplify those particular things. Becoming aware of and paying attention allows us to not only just tune into ourselves, but also tune into those people that are around us. So again, we're talking about that relationship. As performers, we're doing it all the time, but actually we do it as human beings, like every moment of the day, just about, right? And so allowing yourself to settle in and truly be present in the moment. So I'm just going to show you one other one, and then I'm going to invite you to create some expressions in your own way for sharing, but not right now. Don't worry, not right now. So we can just show the second video. Similar, but a little bit different. So watch for what's different.
You've been on my mind. Maybe it's time to say it face to face. A year went by, so many things change, but you feel the same to me. I thought you'd be there beside me. I thought you'd meet her when I did. Oh, now I'm just trying to figure out, is it good as it is? But where were you when I was bleeding? Why'd you leave right when I needed you? Do you even know how it feels to have to heal on your own? Yeah, maybe I should have known that we're better off as strangers. Better off as strangers. It still feels weird. I can't just call you up and tell you how we've been. I had a feeling you'd let go when something better would come along. And look at where we are now. Now I'm just trying to figure out.
I'm just trying to figure out. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Jeannie. Yeah. So Luke made a comment, and it's bang on, Luke. He said, also seems like a lot of that movement was motivated by breath, and it absolutely is, right? It's the foundation of it. Breath creates, it's the moment before, as the impulse is arriving to speak or to act. And if you notice, we usually do action or speaking on the exhale. So the impulse comes, and then it gets executed and exposed to the world, right? So it's in that. And when we are in touch with our breathing, we are informed of what that impulse is and what it's grounded in. It becomes that expression or that output into the world. So we did breath. We vocalized and physicalized some words, heavy, whatever that might be. We did some gesture and some open and closed body positions. And we did a quick generic script. And you can pull all of these together, starting maybe you can be inspired by one of the words, the mood words if you want. but creating some kind of expression. So even if you took the same movement or choreography that we did all together, that I gave you, you could alter some of the things. You could alter the space that you do it in. You could take it outside. You can change the scale of it. So is it big? Like when you open up, is it really open? When you can change the tempo. And it can all be inspired by whatever that impulse or that initial intake is, like that trapped, that curious, that what was that unsteady one that we had at the beginning, right? Those different things. So if you did that whole thing kind of feeling somewhat unsteady, how would that inform the movement or what it is you're doing? Add music. You could add a dialogue track. You could have more than one person in it if you wanted, whatever it is. And if you want to pull it all together, either in a short video, the way that I've done it, it can be simple. It doesn't have to be anything overly complicated, but just an honest expression through the body of how are you feeling right now. And that might change if you did it tomorrow or the next day, because we get to change, we get to move and go through these things. And then you can submit them, hashtag communities create. Am I getting it right, Amelia? Is that right? Yeah. And share it with us. I would love to see it. And you guys, if you wanted to do it even just in a slideshow of photos, you could do that. You could create a photo and just have a single word. Open up and give yourself permission for that expression to be whatever you want, because a frozen picture of you doing this, you know, with one word, it tells, and you don't even need the word actually, it tells a story. It tells a story. And right now, more than ever, we really need to listen to our own stories and other people's. So as we think about this idea of doing and listening, please remember that you are a really important part of that. I know that it's critical that we listen to one another, but you need to know where your coordinates are, where you're starting from, to know how you can then engage with the world in the manner in which you choose. Does that make sense? Lots of permission, and I'm full of gratitude for you guys possibly doing something that was maybe a little out of your wheelhouse. Use my choreography, manipulate it as if you want, and submit it. Communities create. I want to see what you guys come up to. Yeah, thank you so much. Amelia, did you have something?
Yes, absolutely. So thank you so much, Tracy. Thank you for this. We were so honored to have you. Honestly, this was such a dynamite workshop, and I always feel a little bit uncomfortable with open body positions, but afterwards I found like my brain following my body, which is exactly what you said. I'm gonna do it. So thank you also to UBC Studios Okanagan. You guys are awesome. Thanks for sponsoring this workshop. And again, thank you to everybody who joined us. We love you. We hope you had a great time. For those in our session and watching the live stream, again, as Tracy mentioned, watch the hashtag or submit to the hashtag communities create. Next week, join us at 12 for documenting elder stories with Dominique Keller. And that's going to be a workshop presented by NFB and Story Money Impact. You can also see all sorts of other stuff we've done at the archives at communitiescreate.ca. You can check out sessions on photography, comedy, podcasting, vocals, all sorts of really cool things. So thank you again for joining us. Now I'd like to invite you to stay for a well-being and mental health debrief with Diana Breacher and her team. So for everyone who is leaving now, bye, thank you so much. We're gonna take a little bit of a moment here so that we can say goodbye to our friends. And then once everyone has left and those who are staying, we are going to turn off our live stream and have a really intimate and awesome mental health chat. Okay.